gives you an indication of where the jet stream is in the atmosphere. And so you get a ridge in the west and a screaming jet stream here across the lower 48, especially the eastern half of the country, where that cold air is really forced southbound as the upper level steering patterns come southbound. But notice we've got some very dry air down across to Texas, down across the Gulf Coast. So these aren't places that'll necessarily see a lot in the way of precip. These are all areas here where we're very, very dry right now. And truly, a lot of the south is dry right now. Have you had that static? Are you shocking yourself like every time you go and you grab the car door, or maybe you put on that wool sweater? Wool sweaters, holy cow, right? But here's the deal. The Arctic front has pushed on through, and it's really scoured out the atmosphere and brought down that cold air. And there's a look at the forecast highs for tomorrow, which are really, really tough to deal with. 2 in Chicago, 17 in St. Louis, where our average high is normally upper 40s. So we're nowhere close to that. Friday doesn't get much warmer for us. Atlanta just 39 degrees, about 20 degrees below average. Friday in the northeast here in Boston, 20 degrees, staying very, very chilly here. But I like this back here. Do you see where these yellows are back across the deep south? That's hints of a warm up to come. So I like to see where the modification of temperatures are going. It happens by Saturday. 55 in Atlanta, finally above freezing in St. Louis. And Sunday, when some of that precip finally gets into the northeast from the storm setting up in the middle of the country, we're at 36 in Boston. So that's good news. For a place like Chicago, by the way, if the month ended today, it'd be the 10th coldest February on record. Look what we do with the numbers now through the end of the month. We're below average every single day. So we are projecting Chicago to drop to number 2 as the all-time coldest February on record, with an average temperature combining the highs and the lows, Vivian, of just 15.3 degrees. We haven't done that in a very long time, 140 years.
Oh my goodness, my brain is frozen just listening to that cold air. Well, stay with us. Here is a story of a 14-year-old girl pulled from an ice-covered Sandy Hook Bay.
It was all playing out on camera. A 14-year-old girl falling through the ice in Sandy Hook Bay. You can see her hanging on to the 2 men in orange coats. Rescuers able to walk her through the waist-high water to stable ground, where they pulled her up and onto a stretcher.
She managed to get herself up onto an ice floe. She'd fallen through, got herself back up onto the ice. That's where she was when we made contact with her.
Rescuers say she and a friend were apparently walking on the ice-covered drainage pipes that jut out into the bay when one of the girls fell through. Her friend and another adult called for help, but then all 3 became stranded. After the girl in the water was pulled out, rescuers walked the other 2 people back to safety across the ice, uninjured. Witnesses watching the whole event.
They were definitely scared.
Glad we could help, and I'm happy that the young lady is, I imagine, will be okay. She was very cold, very wet, and a little hypothermic, but I'm sure she's going to be fine.
She was taken to Riverview Medical Center for treatment. Locals say the Sandy Hook Bay usually doesn't freeze all the way over because it's salt water. But this has been an exceptional winter.
It's definitely tempting for kids to do it. I wouldn't do it. I mean, you could see that it's not really, safe enough to walk on.
A wind chill advisory is in effect. Currently in our area, 65 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, sunny, high 68. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear, near record low temperatures, low 43. Thursday, sunny skies, high 60. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Before Orion, before Atlantis, we looked to the stars and dared to dream. Stand in awe under Saturn V, the most powerful rocket ever flown. One of thousands of exciting things to explore at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex in Orlando. Always exploring.
Can a protein originally found in a jellyfish improve your memory? Our scientists say yes. Researchers have discovered a protein that actually supports healthier brain function. It's the breakthrough in a supplement called Prevagen. As we age, we lose proteins that support our brain. Prevagen supplements these proteins and has been clinically shown to improve memory. It's safe and effective. For support of healthier brain function, a sharper mind, and clearer thinking, try Prevagen for yourself today.
Jack's heart attack didn't come with a warning. Today, his doctor has him on a Bayer aspirin regimen to help reduce the risk of another one. If you've had a heart attack, be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
Photos are great for capturing your world, and now they can transform it. With the new Angie's List app, you can get projects done in a snap. Take a photo of your project or just tell us what you need done, and Angie's List will find a top-rated provider to do the job.
Start your project for free today.
Sometimes at last doesn't happen at first.
Your dad just kissed my mom.
Turning two worlds into one takes love. Helping protect that world takes State Farm.
Hey neighbor, Ace is having a 20% off store-wide thank you sale. So stop by Ace this Saturday only and get 20% off almost anything you can fit in a bag as our way of saying thanks for being our neighbor.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Now everyone who uses catheters can get a better catheter with Liberator Medical's free catheter sample pack. These new catheters are better than ever, easier to use, more convenient, comfortable, virtually pain-free. Don't wait. Call now and get your free catheter sample pack. There's the all-new compact catheter for women, pre-lubricated, no drips, no mess, fits in your purse. The self-lubricated catheter, it lubricates itself in the package, comfortable, no mess. The closed system catheter, pre-lubricated with its own collection bag, proven to reduce UTIs. The discreet pocket catheter, curved to fit in your pocket to go anywhere. The polished eyelet catheter for micro-smooth comfort, reduces friction and pain. Call now. We'll also bill Medicare and your insurance for you. Call for your free catheter sample pack with free shipping. Call Liberator Medical.
Call 1-800-601-3450. That's 1-800-601-3450.
Attention, hip replacement recipients. If you had metal-on-metal hip replacement and suffered serious injuries or revision surgery, you may be entitled to a cash award. DePuy ASR and Stryker Rejuvenate and other hip replacement devices have been under FDA review. The FDA is aware of failures and dangers of all metal hip replacements and has raised concerns about high metal concentration in patients. Common injuries include early failure of the device, metal blood poisoning, bone fracture, dislocation, tissue damage from metal debris, and hip pain. If you had a DePuy ASR, Stryker Rejuvenate, or other metal-on-metal hip replacement implant and suffered serious injury or revision surgery, you may be entitled to a cash award. Time is limited. Call the number on your screen if you suffered serious injuries or revision surgery from your metal-on-metal hip replacement implant.
Call 1-855-262-8439 now. That's 1-855-262-8439.
Before Mars, before the moon, we did the impossible again and again. Live the future of space travel at Exploration Space, one of thousands of exciting things to explore at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex in Orlando. Always exploring.
Well, it caused our storm tracker Jim Cantore to jump around like he won the lottery live on the air. So what in the world would make a grown man act like that?
Like a crazy man. Well, in this edition of Brainstorm, prepare yourself to be struck by thunder snow. Our own Sam Champion enlightens us about this weather wow.
Thunderstorms begin when a large temperature differential between air near the surface and air aloft creates an updraft. And that updraft can travel at more than 100 miles an hour. This motion builds clouds that can extend to over 50,000 feet high, or nearly 20 times the height of the world's tallest building. Inside these clouds, water, ice, and vapor coexist with different electrical charges that ultimately separate. And when these charges try to equalize with other clouds or objects at the surface, we get lightning. And it's audible proof, thunder. A snowstorm is different from a spring storm because the temperature profile in the lower atmosphere makes it more difficult to create that updraft. But in some cases, a counterclockwise flow around a storm can sneak in a layer of warmer air, which can help create a light updraft. This flow of air can also be aided by strong upper-level winds. Now, because cloud tops in snowstorms are relatively low, most of them well below 20,000 feet, this updraft has less time to accelerate. On average, only about 6 U.S. snowstorms every year will create the instability in the clouds that produces lightning and thunder.
Oh, yes! 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 We got it, baby! We got it! We got it! Woo!
If you hear or see this rare event, it's typically paired with intense snow, in extreme cases up to 5 inches every hour. And that means in just 1 hour, the amount of snow in a square mile beneath that thunder and lightning could be enough to fill Boston's Fenway Park twice.
Oh! Again! Again! That's a twofer! That's a twofer, baby! You gotta be kidding me! You gotta be kidding me!
You've been brainstormed. Sam Champion, The Weather Channel.
Well, we have all been brainstormed, and you see what happens when we get brainstormed, okay? Here is a look at Los Angeles because it is beautiful here. You don't have to deal with any thunder snow here for sure. Temperatures right now in the low 60s, but we're well on our way to 70s. It's a little hazy, but a beautiful afternoon in LA. Will this continue over the next 7 days? Mark has the forecast.
Well, Viv, the country's split in two, right? It is cold, it is snowy across the east today. Atlanta, snowing right now. We've got some snow piling up in the North Georgia areas. Look at this, though. LA 72, Phoenix 82. It's quiet out west. That's where the warmth is going to be. We're watching this Arctic front, though. That's what's giving us the flurries in Atlanta right now and through much of the east. Area of low pressure kind of blows up tomorrow across New England. So from Boston through Maine, some steadier snow possible and a lot of cold air. And along this front, as it stalls out here through the kind of the Tennessee Valley and towards the center of the country, we get our next big winter maker to set up shop. Ice starts to show up on the map in Little Rock and much of central Arkansas, changing over to kind of a sleet-snow mix here from Missouri back through Tennessee and snow towards the I-70 corridor. This whole thing stretches out, right, as we work our way towards Saturday. Look at the amount of real estate affected by this next winter weather maker. Moisture flows up from the Gulf, so it will be warming. Atlanta will be up to 55 by Saturday. Heavy rain, maybe thunderstorms replacing where we had freezing rain just 24 hours ago. But look at I-70 from Kansas City to Pittsburgh. We are talking snow, and snow that could be steady and heavy at times. Sunday, it's interior New England with snow, while the I-95 corridor will change over. Got to watch out for that rain loading on top of the roofs with snow on it in the Boston area. Then Monday into Tuesday, another system skirts across the Gulf, Viv. So more winter weather even far south. Over to you.
And speaking of winter weather far south, take a look. Cobb County, this is in northwest Atlanta. We have a little bit of snow sticking on the ground. This was sent in by our colleague, meteorologist Kim Cunningham. Thanks, Kim.
Who wants pizza roll? This game day, fun harder with Totino's Pizza Rolls and Blasted Crust Rolls.
Once upon a time, there was a nice house that lived with a family. One day, it started to rain. The house tried to keep out all the water, but water got inside and ruined everybody's everythings. The house thought she let the family down. They just didn't think it could happen. They told the house they would take better care of her. Always.
Protect what matters. Get flood insurance.
Build weather invention.
Wow, anybody else surprised it actually worked? Mother Nature can absolutely change people. I'm ready to get out of here and create a new track.
This is a tornado emergency.
It was hard to believe weather could do that.
Never seen anything like this in my life.
A wind chill advisory is in effect. Currently in our area, 65 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, sunny, high 68. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear, near record low temperatures, low 43. Thursday, sunny skies, high 60. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Zantac heartburn alert! Stop! Nexium can take 24 hours to work. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. For relief without the wait, try Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
Do you have something for pain?
I have Bayer aspirin.
I'm not having a heart attack. It's my back.
I mean Bayer Back and Body. It works great for pain.
Bayer Back and Body provides effective relief for your tough pain.
Better?
Yeah. Thanks for the tip.
Hey girl, is it crazy that your soccer trophy is talking to you right now? It kind of is. It's as crazy as you not rolling over your old 401k. Cue the horns. Just harness the confidence it took you to win me and call TD Ameritrade's rollover consultants. They'll help with the hassle by guiding you through the whole process step by step. And they'll even call your old provider. It's easy. Even she could do it.
Whatever, Janet.
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade. You got this.
Who is this?
I know what you did.
Is this about Vegas?
Vegas?
Did I say Vegas? You scared me for a second.
As the host of a popular home improvement show, I know a lot about finding a great contractor for home repairs and improvement projects. Now there's HomeAdvisor.com, a free service that matches your project to top local service professionals.
We didn't have to do any work other than say what we needed.
Just 1, 2, 3, I found my guy and everything was smooth.
And it's always free to use. We've had nothing but...
What are your neighbors doing? Oh, are they gyrating? Yeah? Yeah. That's the no rain dance. They don't have Xfinity, so bad weather interferes with their satellite service. The no rain dance? Wow. You should see them on game days. Looks like fun. It's not.
Don't settle for outdated satellite. Get reliable TV service rain or shine with Xfinity.
Mondays, we're bringing you a new competition that's big.
This is tough.
Bold.
Oh my God!
Furniture-y. Ellen's Design Challenge. All new Monday nights at 9 on HGTV.
See who's gonna freak my freak.
There's no obligation, so call toll-free at 1-800-200-6120.
So let's go! When you go out there, it's dangerous.
Well, check out these pictures, tweeted out to say thanks to the city workers in Ithaca, New York. Yeah, we heart you. You know, the employees had to get a little something for all the work that they've been doing. Brutal cold temperatures, a lot of snow to clear. So you know what? Unfortunately, there's more on the way. Let's go out to the lab now. We've got Vivian there with Mike Bettis with your full winter weather update.
And more love on the way for sure. I'm sure of that. I'll tell you what, Mike, let's talk about the snow that we are already seeing right now, even over parts of the South.
So we have one system right now, and this is probably going to impact us for the next 24, 36 hours.
and then we've got one that comes in behind that. So a lot to go on. Yes, we do have snow in the south. It does include all the way down through the southern Appalachians. Does include places like Metro Atlanta, north side of town.
Atlanta?
Look at this. I know it doesn't look like much on the radar, but to southerners, it's flurries.
Oh, yes.
It is happening, right? So there may be places where you've got maybe some slick spots on the roads. I don't think it's going to be a huge deal for you. It's really fun to look at. That's for sure. There's a look at that right there. That is, I believe, just north side of Atlanta. Cool stuff for us here.
Is that a Cobb County near the Kennesaw area?
Right. So this is what it looks like. I mean, yeah, we don't get this every day, so it's fun to see in the south, right? Then we take you up towards, say, the Tri-Cities, Roanoke, Charleston. We're used to getting the snow, and it's coming down for you now. We've got a pretty strong northwest wind, so the cold air is certainly in place. And then you look at places like Cleveland over towards Pittsburgh. You may have some issues for your drive home, by the way, in Pittsburgh, because we've had some heavier banding there, so wouldn't be surprised in some spots here we're going to pick up a quick 1 to 2 inches of snow, and just in time for you to head home. That's just going to be a couple hours from now. Now, you take a look, though, at the northeast, pretty much precip free at this point, but this entire system is going to swing its way in, and what happens for us, I think, especially in northern New England, is going to be a real issue. So here we go, Vivian. We're going to follow this, and we're going to track it for you. We've got the issues for us tonight, and we've got a lot of issues. I think especially Kentucky and northbound is where some of the heaviest snow will fall. You've been talking about the winter storm warnings that we have there. Some off the lakes here as well. We go into tomorrow evening. Watch what eventually begins to happen for us here across the northeast. We'll see that snow band set up. It swings on through. Multiple bands will swing on through and get us. So I think before all is said and done, there'll be some spots here that get maybe as much as a foot and a half.
Yeah.
But something's going to set up for us here called the Norland Trough, which is really going to spell doom for us here, we think, in down east Maine. What will basically happen is a low is going to set up right off the coast of Maine. You're going to get a stronger east wind that drives in, it brings in the moisture, but you also get a very cold northwest wind that comes in, and where the two meet, sparks will fly. What you're going to end up getting here is a convergence of air, and it's going to force its way upward then in the atmosphere. And see how these snow bands then set up? All the result of the Norland Trough, that basically named for two men who they kind of combine their name to be Norland. But notice how the band's set up for us, especially in Maine. So we've got big issues, especially in Maine. I think Boston will get some snow, but not a foot and a half of snow like we'll see farther north of there. So some real issues tomorrow into Friday. There's a look at your storm totals. Big time snow. Look at those dark purples in there. That could be a foot and a half of snow. Boston, we're talking 1 to 3. Some spots may get as much as 5. I like the impressive snows we'll see down through the Appalachians as well. We could see some spots there 5 to 8 inches of snow, but the next storm that comes in behind it is just going to add insult to injury.
All right, talk about insult to injury. We've had back-to-back storms already, so we've had enough insults.
So let's get some good news in here if we can. I can give you a little bit of good news because that bitterly cold air that we're going to have in place for the next couple of days will be replaced by a little bit warmer air. You can see the moisture streaming out of the Gulf of Mexico, and really that warm air, notice it goes all the way up into the northeast. Right there is Massachusetts and Connecticut. So you can see some influences of warmer air there with the colder air there and spilling in behind it. So there is, I think, an opportunity here to at least go above freezing. Until then, though, huge messes. We've been talking about it all day long. Look at this beginning Friday here across the Mid-South. We're talking Little Rock, the Boot Heel of Missouri, Springfield, St. Louis, and Memphis. A wintry mix. It could be sleet, freezing rain. Nashville could be sleet and snow.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Nashville, they've already picked up an inch of snow today, so more snow, and then that'll eventually change over to rain on Saturday.
Yeah, and a lot of southern cities aren't equipped to handle this kind of weather. I mean, it just doesn't happen that often, so they don't put the infrastructure in place for it. But notice here how that rain begins to take over here, and the warmer air comes our way, including late weekend, even into the I-95 corridor in the northeast.
Okay, Sunday will be a very critical day over the northeast.
It will.
All right. Well, keep it tuned to the Weather Channel for the latest. We'll be right back after this short break. Thanks very much.
You bet.
A wind chill advisory is in effect. Currently in our area, 66 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, sunny, high 68. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear, near record low temperatures, low 43. Thursday, sunny skies, high 60. here's our 7-day outlook.
You get through the afternoon on Weather Center Live, where winter weather has been a non-stop problem, creating messy, dangerous situations. And with record amounts of snow across parts of the Northeast, we're also making sure you know about all these plummeting temperatures that will be talked about for years to come.
Yeah, top that off, and more ice and snow on the way to areas already having a hard time coping with relentless storms, impacts, tracking, timing. We have it all for you. Expert-filled, in-depth information right here, right now, only on Weather Center Live. Thank you so much for joining us for Weather Center Live. I'm Vivian Brown.
And I'm Mark Elliott. And Viv, one storm is ending, and we're kind of shaking off the flurries from that one. Here's the thing. We're following all the stories that came out from that storm because we have this short break before the next one comes along.
We have a lot to pass on you to you today, from accidents to rescues from, of course, those heavy storms, and beautiful scenes too, because it is pretty in some cases, and we have you covered, of course.
Of course, but before we get to that, let's start with what's happening right now. And this is this Arctic front that's plunging its way in through the southeast. In fact, winter weather advisories from North Georgia all the way through the Ohio Valley, a couple of winter storm warnings there as well. And then there's a potential for this storm to get a little bit more active here off the coast of New England. Winter storm watches are up across Maine. So Viv, what are we watching with this system?
All right, we're watching it all because as it moves from south to north, we have the very cold air associated with it too. That cold air is driving east and north as we go through time. Here is the position of the front. We talked about a few flurries even as far south as northern Georgia, the suburbs of Atlanta, the north suburbs of Atlanta reporting a little bit of light snow right now. But again, just those broad northwest winds bringing down that Arctic chill, and caught up in the winds. This is what it feels like in Indianapolis, 8 below, but it feels like 22 below in Minneapolis. It feels like 11 below in Chicago and 15 below in Green Bay. Can you believe that? Okay, the air is cold enough. The winds are strong enough, but also to add into the mix is the widespread snow. Everywhere you see the blue here, that's indicating returns on the radar of the snow that's been widespread here. Even the mountains of Tennessee, as you head east of the Knoxville area, the Blue Ridge Parkway is not looking good. A little tricky here on Interstate 81, even as you travel Interstate 40 as you cross over out of Tennessee into North Carolina. Please be careful near Boone County. And a close-up look at the flurries we've seen in the Atlanta area. Again, the suburbs just to the north around Kennesaw, Marietta reporting some snow. So there you have it, the cold air and the moisture catching up with each other over northern Georgia. But we'll watch this system as it continues to swing off through New England. And before all is said and done, maybe an additional foot of snow, say north of Boston, mainly over the state of Maine. Back to you, Mark.
And so, Viv, one thing that this cold air is really good at is kind of squeezing out all available moisture into some flurries. This video sent in by our own Mike Seidel. And look how the visibility has gone down there because of the snow. Bouncing that light back at you. You can't see as far, so some difficult driving because of the snowflakes that are flying right now, even if the roads aren't slick. There will be lower visibilities. And, of course, cold is a big story here. We want to go back to the lab now. Mike Bettis has been monitoring this cold air outbreak. Mike, some of the stats from, let's say, 1899 are in jeopardy here when New Orleans hit 7 and Quantico hit 30 below.
Yeah, it was an epic time for sure. There was a week of weather there where the temperatures were so cold they've never been broken since. We're talking before 1900. That's just amazing stuff. But we've got a really cold air setup that's really impacting hundreds of millions of people. The entire eastern half of the country is in the grips of this really Arctic outbreak. The jet stream has dipped way to the south, so that really allows a lot of cold air to dip south as well. So it goes all the way truly into Florida. So even places like Tampa and Orlando get chilly, and I think at some point even South Florida at least gets one day of cooler air that rolls in. Tomorrow's forecast highs, anywhere where you have pinks on the map, purples on the map, 15 to 40 degrees below average, and it does include the northern tips of the U.S., way up there in International Falls, all the way down to the Keys. So here's a look at the forecast highs today. They've not been warm at all. In fact, we've had some snow in the south, including north side of Atlanta, where your temperature today topping out just 39. Tomorrow, 2 in Chicago. That's it. 34 degrees below average. From St. Louis to D.C. will be in the teens for highs by Friday. Not much warmer. 19 in Boston, 21 degrees in Washington, D.C., which is nearly 30 degrees below average. For a place like Chicago, it's been a cold month, but if the month ended today, it'd be tied for the 10th coldest February on record. We're averaging 17.8 degrees so far this month. Compared to last February, it's actually a little bit warmer. However, with this forecast of below average high temperatures through the remainder of the month, we are projecting that Chicago will end up at its second coldest February on record, outdone by only the February of 1875. Mark, as you were alluding to, these numbers mind-boggling when you see how far back the records go, the period of record, and how these stack up. This is really one that we'll remember for a very long time.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Rewriting the record books with this one.
You know, in Boston, getting around is very rough. Only one lane to get by on some streets with snow piles taller than cars and people on either side.
Yeah, but clearing the streets isn't the only challenge. The waterways are freezing because of the brutal cold. Chris Warren details that.
In the Boston area, commuting is a challenge on the rail, on the road, and on the water. We are just outside of Boston right now. Boston, the downtown skyline, it's off in the distance. But what you'll notice between where we are and Boston, there is a lot of ice. And a lot of people commute from the surrounding areas into Boston on a ferry or on a taxi. About 4,000 people make that commute into Boston for work. And a lot of those vessels, a lot of those boats are either made out of fiberglass or aluminum. So it is dangerous for those boats to go through this. That's why the boat that we're on right here, this is essentially a supply ship, but it's acting as an icebreaker, is plowing the way ahead of the ferries and the taxis to make sure there is a clear way for them to get through. This boat is made out of steel. So it is the best option for clearing a path for the ferry boats and the taxis to get into Boston. And we know with all of the cold air that we've been experiencing and are expecting, this is going to remain a concern. So crews will be out here trying to do what they can to make sure the people that need to get to work on the water and by the water will be able to do so. I'm meteorologist Chris Warren on the water just outside of Boston. Back to you.
What's this? A box. It takes worn out things and makes them better.
It's our biggest breakthrough yet. We're taking worn out batteries and making them into something strong. Energizer Eco Advanced. World's first battery made with recycled batteries. That's positive energy.
You do a lot to keep your family safe at home. So make sure they're safer on the road. See farther, wider, better. Upgrade to Silver Star Ultra headlights from Sylvania.
Attention accident victims.
If you or a loved one has been injured in any kind of accident, you may be eligible for substantial compensation. Don't wait to file your claim. Time is limited. Call now and let a local experienced attorney fight to get you money for your injuries.
If you have been injured in an accident, time is limited to file a claim, so act now. The call and consultation are free.
Call 1-800-307-9899.
Attention accident victims.
If you or a loved one has been injured in any kind of accident, you may be eligible for substantial compensation. Don't wait to file your claim. Time is limited. Call now and let a local experienced attorney fight to get you money for your injuries.
If you have been injured in an accident, time is limited to file a claim, so act now. The call and consultation are free.
Call 1-800-307-9899.
Build weather invention.
Wow, anybody else surprised it actually worked?
It was hard to believe weather could do that.
Mother Nature can absolutely change people.
A wind chill advisory is in effect. Currently in our area, 66 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, sunny, high 68. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear, near record low temperatures, low 43. Thursday, sunny skies, high 60. Here's our 7-day outlook.
So we've got like 60 years of experience here. And that's just Sam.
Jim Cantori, now on AMHQ. Weekday mornings at 7.
Hey, neighbor. Ace is having a 20% off store-wide thank you sale. So stop by Ace this Saturday only and get 20% off almost anything you can fit in a bag as our way of saying thanks for being our neighbor.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
It may seem strange, but people really can love their laxative, especially when it's Miralax. It hydrates, eases, and softens to unblock your system naturally, so you have peace of mind from start to finish. Love your laxative, Miralax.
If you're driving and you can't see clearly for 1 second at 60 miles per hour, you can't see clearly for 88 feet. And a lot can happen in 88 feet. That's why Bosch created the new Icon with ClearMax 365. It's a rubber technology for longer lasting performance, not found on any other wiper blade. Because like you, Bosch cares about what's ahead.
And I turn around and there's 3 rattlesnakes.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't worry, Rob, you're covered.
State Farm agents are there whenever you need them.
Good afternoon, St. Louis. We're looking at you. Today could be your coldest day of the season. You may not even see a high above 20 degrees, and your low could plunge below 0. And parts of the metro area could see snow as we go through the weekend. It's all associated with our next weekend winter storm. It seems as though for the last 5 weekends we've had a winter storm developing. So here is the setup. The cold air already in place. It stretches from the northeast back into parts of the Tennessee Valley and into the Midwest. But as we head toward the weekend, we'll watch an area of low pressure come out of the south central plains. Moisture will be coming in from the western Gulf of Mexico. And as that moisture meets up with the low pressure, both of them meet up with a cold air, we could be setting the stage for a winter storm developing across parts of the south, the Tennessee Valley, and even the Gulf coastal states. So here is Friday. You can see the color coding now, the blue indicating snow. The snow will be, of course, across the northern latitudes, including Chicago, again, down to St. Louis, just to the south of town. We could be talking about sleet, just an overall wintry mess, and then freezing rain over the southwestern parts of Missouri into northern Arkansas, including around the Little Rock area, and then all rain where you see the green here across eastern Texas, northern Louisiana, and the north central parts of Mississippi. And then as we head into Saturday, notice how some of the warmer air really starts to push east and north, punching into the western parts of Kentucky in the form of rain, but still the widespread area of snow with that cold air in place. Still snowing on Saturday in Chicago over to Detroit, even over to Pittsburgh. And then as that moisture comes into that cold air trapped in the mountains here in the valleys of the mountains in the Appalachians, we could be talking about a big wintry mess on Saturday. Then Sunday, the warm air really punches northward across the mountains and even as far north as maybe some freezing rain in Boston, or at the very least some chilly rain out on the Cape. We think the snow will be to the north of you, Boston, all the way up to upstate New York and the northern parts here of New England. But big changes, in particular for you, St. Louis. Here is a look at your forecast heading into the weekend. You know we'll be here letting you know when the snow changes over to rain, and then when the rain changes back to fair skies. Back to you, Mark.
Thanks, Viv. And who's up for a swim? No? Doesn't look inviting to you? Yeah, look at that ice. That is in West Cobb County, Georgia. That is just to the northwest of Atlanta. That's how cold it is. Little spray out there, and the picnic table's absolutely frozen. The pool has a sheen of ice across it, and there are snow flurries in the area. Kelly Cass, our own Kelly Cass, sent that one in. And you know what? That's just the beginning of the cold air, right? We've got a relentless cold air outbreak on the way. Widespread records. Look at all these dots showing up on the screen. From Thursday to Saturday, those are over 100 potential record lows that could be shattered. And some of these lows have been in place since the 1800s. Now, our cold front will go all the way off the East Coast and through Florida, and that means we're going to be seeing anyone north of there with cold temps. But this is how cold it's going to be. This is not a wind chill. That's how it's going to start your day in Chicago, 8 below zero. You look at Richmond, you'll be near 10. Look at the I-10 corridor. How about Pensacola, 24? That'll be the best we can do. We are looking at potential records here. Charlotte looks like we'll tie the record from 1958. And Friday, no picnic either. Look at all of these just for Friday morning. The Keys, 51 in the Keys. D.C., 1. Your record is 8. So yes, we are in for quite the change as we look towards Friday morning. Across portions of the mid-Atlantic here, Harrisburg, 4 below zero. Baltimore will be near 4 below. Atlantic City, 2 below. We can continue our trek down towards the south here. Look how cold it is through the Carolinas into Georgia, Viv. Very chilly stuff for the next couple days.
Yes, cold air in place, in particular around Pittsburgh. We have a snow squall coming right through the city. This is the way it looks on the radar, but this is how it looks outside. Nearly whiteout conditions with this snow squall moving through western Pennsylvania. We'll follow it for you next.
So you think all auto glass companies are the same? Well, they're not. When your windshield needs to be replaced, nobody makes it as worry-free as Safelite. First, Safelite emails a photo of the technician, so you know who to expect and how soon.
Right on time.
Safelite's one-of-a-kind True Seal technology places a new glass in perfect position for a strong, reliable bond you can trust.
Oh, that looks great.
You're all set.
Thank you so much.
Schedule now to get the Safelite Advantage.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Grandpa Bodie, Grandma said you used to be out of control.
Really? I guess I did take some risks. I trained a little bit differently. I was a little too honest sometimes. The media is useless.
You were out of control.
But not always.
Huh. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Everybody knows that.
Well, did you know that words really can hurt you?
What? Jesse, don't go! Jesse, no!
I'm sorry, Daisy, but I'm a loner, and a loner's gotta be alone.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Jesse?
After John Huntsman was diagnosed with cancer, he founded Huntsman Cancer Institute.
To fight cancer in new and different ways.
Like combining 300 years of family histories with health records to treat, predict, and in many cases, prevent cancer. With the vital understanding that cancer moves fast.
And we have to move faster.
To learn more or support the cause, go to huntsmancancer.org.
Build weather invention.
Wow, anybody else surprised it actually worked?
It was hard to believe. With so many great shows on these days, you need a DVR that can catch them all. How many shows can you DVR at one time?
I can only DVR one at a time.
It'll act like it's recording, but one of us got kicked out.
There isn't any fighting, but there is conflict. With Xfinity, you can record 4 shows at once and watch a 5th live.
That's really cool.
There's no conflict, so you're never going to miss a show.
Say so long to recording conflicts. Upgrade to an Xfinity X1 Triple Play from Comcast and save when you bundle. See for yourself. Call 1-800-XFINITY or visit Comcast.com today.
At Outbacker Lincoln, we want you to have luxury for less. That's why we offer price, value, and selection. Price, like the all-new 2015 Lincoln MKC, just $299 a month. Or a 2015 Lincoln MKZ, also just $299 a month. Value, with bottom-line windshield pricing. Selection, over 200 new Lincolns to choose from. Only at Outpacker Lincoln on Military Trail. And remember,
and commitment to go the distance with you. Call now to request your free decision guide.
So we've got like 60 years of experience here. And that's just Sam.
Jim Cantori, now on AMHQ. Weekday mornings at 7.
A wind chill advisory is in effect. Currently in our area, 67 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, sunny, high 68. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear, near record low temperatures, low 43. Thursday, sunny skies, high 60. Here's our 7-day outlook.
It's never quite too early to start thinking about your weekend. We're here in the middle of the week, and you know what? We've got some messy weather on the way. So for your travel plans, for your outdoor plans, you got to pay attention to this one. Our next big winter storm is going to kind of elongate its way across the country on Saturday. A mixed bag of precip for the Carolinas, snow for the I-70 corridor, and potentially some thunderstorm activity in places that started as freezing rain. You look at Little Rock, Thursday night to Friday could have freezing rain, then thunderstorms by Saturday. Sunday, it's interior sections of the Northeast. The snowmobiling zone will see some beautiful snow on Sunday. I-95 corridor changing over. Watch out for those snow-laden roofs in Boston, because you might actually get some rain. And then again, still raining in the Southeast, and we get another impulse in Denver with some snow. A lot of big changes this weekend as we look towards some of the cities that are going to be impacted with this mess. Again, look at Little Rock. Icy on Friday with temps in the 30s. Saturday, strong thunderstorms and mid-60s. A very big change in just a couple of days. Raleigh, we're looking at a rain-snow mix Saturday, and then near 60 on Sunday thanks to southerly winds, so it will be raining. And Baltimore, you're going to see that changeover zone too. Afternoon snow showers Saturday, but a high near 50 Sunday morning, Viv, and then it starts to fall again with the next cold air blast.
All right, well, as you just saw, some people could hear storms rumble this weekend. It's a sound that still strikes fear into the hearts of those living in Washington, Illinois. They're recovering from a devastating tornado that destroyed their community back in 2013. Maria LaRosa shares their story.
For the Byler-Dan family, time spent with their 12-year-old dog Maggie is a gift.
Good girl, Pooch.
Last November, 2 days after John and his 4 children crawled from the wreckage of their tornado-ravaged home, Maggie was found amongst the rubble that remained. Her body was bruised and her hip dislocated, but miraculously, she was alive.
Finding her alive is just, great joy and elation. An extreme sense of relief, washed over me. It definitely changed my perspective on the whole situation.
As her rescue became national news, donations flooded in, allowing this local vet to treat Maggie and more than 20 tornado-injured pets completely free of charge.
They took such phenomenal care of her. When she came home, we laughed and said she looks probably 3 or 4 years younger than she did before the storm because they made her lose some weight. Keep it going.
In the days after Maggie was found, the First Response Team of America arrived on site and were able to help save John's other prized possessions.
When the tornado came, it took the first and second floor right off this house. And as we started digging through the debris, we found a lot of very special old instruments. It was just basically a race against time to salvage anything we could before the rain came.
Music is medicine. It's a healing art, and it's what I do to not only exercise my mind, but my soul. It definitely has helped me cope.
In November, music also helped save John's family as the tornado tore their home apart.
This is where they were when the tornado hit. I mean, they were literally under the car in this basement covered in debris. When the car fell down, instead of falling on John and his kids, it actually fell on the pianos. And the instruments literally held the car up in the air and kept them from being crushed.
John's basement is once again his rehearsal space, but the home is new. The Byler-Dans moved here in January and were reunited with Maggie after 2 months apart.
She is our protector. She's our companion. She is part of our family. Our family would not be complete without her.
And from one rescue to another, right? People putting their own lives at risk to help someone else.
It's exactly what a 13-year-old did yesterday, and we'll have more about her story coming up a little later. Stay tuned.
Responding by storm, powered by Ram trucks. Guts, glory, Ram.
No pictures of trucks pulling boats. No photos of men working on ranches. Just a Ram 1500 Eco Diesel that gets 156 more miles per tank than the Ford F-150 EcoBoost. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com.
Your paycheck. Your family depends on it. But if something happened to you, you need life insurance. And chances are SelectQuote can get it for you for under $1 a day. SelectQuote found Alec, 38, a $500,000 policy for under $21 a month. Phil, 41, smokes an occasional cigar. Still, SelectQuote got him a $500,000 policy for under $25 a month. SelectQuote found Kenesha, 39, a $350,000 policy for under $14 a month. SelectQuote's secret? They impartially shop a select group of highly rated companies like these for your best rates. Give your family the security it needs at a price you can afford. Call this number or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Hey girl, is it crazy that your soccer trophy is talking to you right now? It kind of is. It's as crazy as you not rolling over your old 401k. Cue the horns. Just harness the confidence it took you to win me and call TD Ameritrade's rollover consultants. They'll help with the hassle by guiding you through the whole process step by step. And they'll even call your old provider. It's easy. Even she could do it.
Whatever, Janet.
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade. You got this.
Hut. When it comes to losing weight, everyone has a number. And if you want to get your performance back and feel great, do what I did. One call and I lost it all. 22 pounds gone.
Lose weight fast with Nutrisystem's Fast 5 Plus Kit. Lose 5 pounds in your first week, plus 1 inch off your waist or your money back, guaranteed.
Nutrisystem has everything you need to feel better, look better, and perform better at any age, faster than ever before.
I haven't felt this good in years. Thank you, Nutrisystem. I lost 8 pounds in the first week.
Order your 28-day Nutrisystem plan right now, including Fast 5 Plus. Get 1 week of meals, plus 1 week of energizing shakes and Craving Crusher shakes, free. New food selections, new expert guides. Call now and lock in 2014 prices, and shipping is free.
Whether your number's 10 or 50, make the right call. Nutrisystem.
Call 855-789-THIN now and lose your first 5 pounds fast.
Testosterone therapy, low T therapy, has been linked to heart attack, stroke, blood clot, or death. If you have used testosterone therapy gels, sprays, patches, or pellet implants and were injured, you may be entitled to a cash award. If you're a male, use prescription testosterone therapy and have suffered a heart attack, stroke, blood clot, or death, call now. You may be entitled to a cash award.
Call 1-877-668-5816 now. That's 1-877-668-5816.
3,000 years of history waiting to be discovered.
Body was found this morning.
Do we have any suspects yet?
It's my job to find out what happened. Stop! It's time.
Someone wants to find it or died trying.
Dig, Thursday, March 5th at 10 on USA.
A wind chill advisory is in effect. Currently in our area, 67 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, sunny, high 68. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear, near record low temperatures, low 43. Thursday, sunny skies, high 60. Here's our 7-day outlook.
So we've got like 60 years of experience here. And that's just Sam.
Jim Cantori, now on AMHQ. Weekday mornings at 7.
I was thinking about my mother, all that stuff. And then, Ty kept me in line, told me, we just gotta make a fire, we're gonna get through this, just gotta push through it. I didn't really mind, because I knew where I was, I knew the area, I wasn't lost at all. I knew exactly where I was.
Two teenagers had quite the night. Safe now after being stranded in the woods in 25 below zero wind chills. Their snowmobile got stuck near Andover, Maine, so they started walking, but night came and temperatures started to dip to about 9 below zero. They were able to kind of bundle up and start a fire to keep warm, and in the morning, a passerby spotted them starting their walk again. Thankfully, the two did not have any signs of hypothermia, but my goodness, what a story those two have to tell for years to come about their night in the woods. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for Weather Center Live. I'm Mark Elliott.
And I'm Vivian Brown. Now, we just saw an incredible story of survival. We just saw, of course, the record snow and the cold and the icy conditions, and we could find more situations like this.
Yeah, coming up in a few minutes, we're actually going to show you another dramatic rescue that occurred. But right now, let's start off by showing you what's happening right now. And this is Pittsburgh, believe it or not. It's hard to see those buildings in the background because there's been some snow across the area. A bit of a snow squall has come on through, lowering those visibilities. So as those snowflakes kind of bounce the light back at your eye instead of out in the distance, you can't see as far. And that's why that snow is so good at lowering the visibility. Viv, over to you.
Yes, and we're watching that Arctic front as it moves through. So more cold air and more snow expected across the region. So this is yet another storm, but we will detail another one after this one, believe it or not. There's your cold air with the northwest winds just blowing all across this region. Look at the actual numbers. 11 below. That's the current wind chill in Chicago. 22 below is what it feels like right now in the Minneapolis area. For that reason, we do have winter storm warnings because the Arctic front itself is pushing through this region, and it's bringing with it, again, some of the snow. We've even had some snow as far south as the suburbs of Atlanta, the northern suburbs, and we have a winter storm watch in effect for all of New England for the most part, certainly the state of Maine. Here's a look at the radar now, showing you that burst of heavy snow that just pushed through the Pittsburgh area. You can see some of the darker blue moving right through the downtown area. All of this continues to move east. West Virginia getting a burst of heavier snow too in the Charleston area, and eastern Tennessee into western North Carolina. All of this is continuing, of course, to move on off to the east, and eventually the northeast will get some additional snow. So not only are we dealing with the record amounts of snow, but we're also talking about the temperatures that are helping to rewrite the record books. Brutal, dangerous, even potentially deadly. Where is all of this cold air coming from? Well, here's Mark. He's going to help us understand the deep freeze from Siberia.
Yeah, Viv, a lot of people call this the Siberian Express, and there really isn't a better illustration of the Siberian Express than this very cold air outbreak. Let's show you what we're talking about here with the amount of cold air that we're going to be dealing with. The eastern two-thirds of the country are going to be enveloped in this extremely cold air. Nashville, for example, right? Look at this. Potential record low temps as we head towards tomorrow morning. You're going to be in the single digits. Record is right around 2. But the air doesn't start there. No, it actually has its origins all the way back up around the Arctic Circle near Siberia. And then as this air mass starts to shift its way down towards the south, it doesn't modify much. There's a couple of different types of air masses that we talk about. Sometimes from the Maritimes, more kind of modest temperatures and more moisture. This one from the poles. This is a Canadian polar outbreak air mass, and it's going to be setting up shop here in the eastern two-thirds of the country. All these dots that you see on the screen here, those are potential record lows from Thursday through Saturday, and there's over 100 of them on that map. That's right. We've got a lot of cold air to go. Potentially talking about new record-breaking cold. temps. There's a couple of years that we go back to, bringing in Mike Bettis here in the lab. We go back to the 1970s. We go back to the 1890s. Those are really the benchmarks for cold air. You know, you talk about record snow, 95, 96 is the year, but for cold, we have these kind of benchmarks too, and this one is right in line with those other ones.
And for so many of us, we don't remember that. I mean, if you're say 40 years old or younger, you have no recollection of that 70s cold air outbreak, and no one obviously has a recollection of 1899, but this is going to rival that. And in some instances, it's going to best that. So the whole setup has to do with what happens above our heads, up where the jet stream flows. You've got this ribbon of air, and it really dictates where the cold air and warm air sets up across our country. We've got a ridge of high pressure with the jet stream going well to the north and the west, and then it dips in the east. And so you get relatively a mild air with more of a southerly flow of air in the west. We've actually this week had some record-setting warmth there. And then you get the cold air set up here in the eastern half of the country where that northerly wind is prevalent here. And Mark was talking about how it comes just over the Arctic Circle, comes right down into Canada, and then right down into the U.S. and truly goes all the way down into the deep south, because there's the base of that trough is down here all the way through Florida is where we'll have that cold air go for us. And there's the result of the temperatures. 16 in St. Louis, 2 in Chicago tomorrow. These numbers anywhere from 15 to 45 degrees below average. It's ridiculous. 19 in Boston for us by the time we get to Friday. Just 21 in D.C., 39 in Atlanta. By the time the weekend comes, there are hints of a little bit milder air. You see some yellows back on the map, at least. That'll include the Southern Plains, Oklahoma City, Dallas, Houston will begin to warm up now. St. Louis going in the right direction at 29, 39 in Atlanta. There we go on Saturday, back above freezing. Even in Chicago, we'll be 34 and we'll be dancing in the streets. 30 degrees for us in Boston on Saturday, but the real warmer air comes in, I think, on Sunday at 37 degrees. We may be hard-pressed to even squeeze out snow at that temperature, and certainly no snow in D.C. with 52 degrees coming our way. So here's a look at a place like Detroit. Incredibly brutal month so far this month. In fact, if the month ended today, it'd be the 8th coldest February on record in Detroit, and we're cooler than we were last year, which was a cold February. We're 16.8 degrees, our average temperature for this month. You take a look at the forecast that goes all the way through the end of February. Not a single day do we see an afternoon high that meets our average, which is 36. So we crunch the numbers. So we're projecting Detroit will jump up to the number 2 coldest February on record with an average temperature of a measly 14.4 degrees. Vivian, you have to go all the way back to 1875, 140 years ago, to find a colder February than what we'll see this year.
And we can't go back that far. Thanks so much, very much, Mike, for the cold news, of course. A story with a happy ending this afternoon, though. A 14-year-old girl pulled from an ice-covered Sandy Hook Bay in New Jersey as cameras roll. Our own Al Roker has more on this dramatic rescue.
It was all playing out on camera. A 14-year-old girl falling through the ice in Sandy Hook Bay. You can see her hanging on to the 2 men in orange coats. Rescuers able to walk her through the waist-high water to stable ground, where they pulled her up and onto a stretcher.
She managed to get herself up onto an ice floe. She'd fallen through, got herself back up onto the ice. That's where she was when we made contact with her.
Rescuers say she and a friend were apparently walking on the ice-covered drainage pipes that jut out into the bay when one of the girls fell through. Her friend and another adult called for help, but then all 3 became stranded. After the girl in the water was pulled out, rescuers walked the other 2 people back to safety across the ice, uninjured. Witnesses watching the whole event.
They were definitely scared.
Glad we could help, and I'm happy that the young lady is, I imagine, will be okay. She was very cold, very wet, and a little hypothermic, but I'm sure she's going to be fine.
She was taken to Riverview Medical Center for treatment. Locals say the Sandy Hook Bay usually doesn't freeze all the way over because it's salt water. But this has been an exceptional winter.
It's definitely tempting for kids to do it. I wouldn't do it. I mean, you could see that it's not really, safe enough to walk on.
A wind chill advisory is in effect. Currently in our area, 68 degrees under mostly cloudy skies.
The
this afternoon. Sunny, high 68. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear, near record low temperatures, low 43. Thursday, sunny skies, high 60. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Hey neighbor, Ace is having a 20% off store-wide thank you sale. So stop by Ace this Saturday only and get 20% off almost anything you can fit in a bag as our way of saying thanks for being our neighbor.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Wow, I've been Claritin Clear for 10 days.
When your allergies start, doctors recommend taking 1 non-drowsy Claritin every day during your allergy season for continuous relief.
18 days. 17 days.
22 days of continuous relief.
Live Claritin Clear every day.
What's this? A box. It takes worn-out things and makes them better.
It's our biggest breakthrough yet. We're taking worn-out batteries and making them into something strong. Energizer Eco Advanced. World's first battery made with recycled batteries. That's positive energy.
Sometimes at last doesn't happen at first.
Your dad just kissed my mom.
Turning 2 worlds into one takes love. Helping protect that world takes State Farm.
As the host of a popular home improvement show, I know a lot about finding a great contractor for home repairs and improvement projects. Now there's HomeAdvisor.com, a free service that matches your project to top local service professionals.
We didn't have to do any work other than say what we needed.
Just 1, 2, 3, I found my guy and everything was smooth.
And it's always free to use.
We've had nothing but fabulous every single time.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com now to get started on your next project.
Home Advisor.
Attention accident victims.
If you or a loved one has been injured in any kind of accident, you may be eligible for substantial compensation. Don't wait to file your claim. Time is limited. Call now and let a local experienced attorney fight to get you money for your injuries.
If you have been injured in an accident, time is limited to file a claim, so act now. The call and consultation are free.
Call 1-800-307-9899.
Attention accident victims.
If you or a loved one has been injured in any kind of accident, you may be eligible for substantial compensation. Don't wait to file your claim. Time is limited. Call now and let a local experienced attorney fight to get you money for your injuries.
If you have been injured in an accident, time is limited to file a claim, so act now. The call and consultation are free.
Call 1-800-307-9899.
Imagine yourself exploring the mysteries of Machu Picchu, dining at the Eiffel Tower, or staying at the Fairmont Lake Louise in the Canadian Rockies. Across all 7 continents, Colette's guided tours take you places others only dream about.
I love Colette because they arrange everything for me. All I have to do is sit back and enjoy.
Marvel at iconic landmarks. Savor delicious meals. Come to know new cultures and make new friends. Along the way, enjoy immersive itineraries featuring experiences you can only find with Colette. Whether you're in the America West, discovering New Zealand, or walking on the Great Wall, you'll be traveling with one of our professional tour managers. All you have to do is embrace the adventure. To order your free brochure, call 855-714-8687. Experience the best in guided travel. 855-714-8687.
You know, you may have seen it. Caused our storm tracker Jim Cantore to jump around like a lottery winner. We'll go lottery winner. What in the world could make this grown man act like that?
All right, well, in this edition of Brainstorm, prepare yourself to be struck by thunder snow. Our own Sam Champion enlightens us about this weather wow.
Thunderstorms begin when a large temperature differential between air near the surface and air aloft creates an updraft. And that updraft can travel at more than 100 miles an hour. This motion builds clouds that can extend to over 50,000 feet high, or nearly 20 times the height of the world's tallest building. Inside these clouds, water, ice, and vapor coexist with different electrical charges that ultimately separate. And when these charges try to equalize with other clouds or objects at the surface, we get lightning. And it's audible proof, thunder. A snowstorm is different from a spring storm because the temperature profile in the lower atmosphere makes it more difficult to create that updraft. But in some cases, a counterclockwise flow around a storm can sneak in a layer of warmer air, which can help create a light updraft. This flow of air can also be aided by strong upper-level winds. Now, because cloud tops in snowstorms are relatively low, most of them well below 20,000 feet, this updraft has less time to accelerate. On average, only about 6 U.S. snowstorms every year will create the instability in the clouds that produces lightning and thunder.
Oh, yes! 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 We got it, baby! We got it! We got it! Woo!
If you hear or see this rare event, it's typically paired with intense snow, in extreme cases up to 5 inches every hour. And that means in just 1 hour, the amount of snow in a square mile beneath that thunder and lightning could be enough to fill Boston's Fenway Park twice.
Oh! Again! Again! That's a twofer! That's a twofer, baby! You gotta be kidding me! You gotta be kidding me!
You've been brainstormed. Sam Champion, The Weather Channel.
Well, one place you won't have to deal with thunder snow is right here in San Francisco. It's beautiful in the Bay, and you know what? It's going to be a very nice afternoon. How long will this last, though? Well, let's check on the 7-day forecast. Here's Mark with all the details.
And how does 60s in San Francisco sound? Because that's your forecast today. The country is divided in two. Big dip in the jet stream, allowing for the cold air and the snow showers across the east. On the other hand, you get a big ridge across the west, so San Fran near 60. LA near 70, Phoenix in the low 80s today. Not too shabby. The big story over the next couple of days, though, is, of course, going to be this Arctic air that's enveloping the eastern two-thirds of the country. Look at this, Chicago, two. That's the best we can do for you tomorrow. Lake effect snow showers possible. A little bit of enhancement there with a storm off the northeast coast. So you'll see some snow, pretty substantial snow across Maine, and very cold air all the way down towards the Gulf Coast states. Now, along that stalled out front will be our next big weather maker. We could start to see this taking shape on Friday. Area of low pressure forming here right on the border of that cold air. Maybe some freezing rain across Arkansas, transitioning slowly to snow once you get up towards the I-70 corridor. And this storm system really stretches out as we work our way into Saturday. Look at the amount of real estate that is in play here as we look towards Saturday with this storm system. We do change over to rain across Arkansas, but look at I-70, Denver to Kansas City to Pittsburgh, snow, and then we get that transition zone of ice near the Appalachian chain. A lot of mess with this one. It will be an interior track storm, so an interior kind of the snowmobile Tug Hill Plateau snow on Sunday. I-95, you'll be changing over to rain. Boston will get above freezing. That's a nice change. And look what happens back here. This is the tail end of our front, so by Monday into Tuesday, another southeast chance, Viv, for some wintry weather. Pretty deep in the south. Over to you.
Yeah, pretty far south. Well, we've been talking about these record-breaking temperatures and record-breaking snow. Take a look, Boston. We're at number 2. We tied for the second place anyway of the snowiest winter on season with 96.3 inches. We need about 11 inches more to capture the number 1 spot, and we have at least 30 days to go for the rest of winter season. We'll keep you updated.
When you're hungry for the craveable taste of tender fish and shrimp, nothing's better than Long John Silver's. Now, for a limited time, enjoy our new crispy golden fish and shrimp basket for just $3.99 at Long John Silver's.
Why do you want to get everybody Spring Valley vitamins from Walmart? Because you need him to feel healthy for your big reunion. Because you need to feel the moves, not the ears.
Dance Team Captain 95.
And because you need Grandpa to feel like he has more energy than they do. Shop the whole line of Spring Valley vitamins now. Only at Walmart.com and Walmart.
Build weather invention.
Wow, anybody else surprised that actually worked?
Mother Nature can absolutely change people.
I'm ready to get out of here and create a new track.
This is a tornado emergency.
It was hard to believe weather could do that.
Never seen anything like this in my life.
A wind chill advisory is in effect. Currently in our area, 68 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, sunny, high 68. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear, near record low temperatures, low 43. Thursday, sunny skies, high 60. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Seatbelts, headrests, and airbags help you survive a crash. But if you upgrade your headlights, you may even avoid one. See farther, wider, better. Silver Star Ultra headlights from Sylvania.
At the end of the day, my hands are beat up.
Especially during the winter times, hands are splitting, cracking, making it very difficult to do my job.
O'Keefe's Working Hands. Guaranteed relief for dry hands that crack and split.
Best stuff we've ever used.
It just works.
Learn more at workinghands.com.
Are you a man over 40 and feeling tired, losing muscle, have less romantic drive? Then you need Ageless Male, with an ingredient clinically shown to increase free testosterone levels. Ageless Male is now available at these fine retailers.
To stay one step ahead of winter, it takes the latest state-of-the-art technology. The ultimate protection for any car, truck, or SUV is WeatherTech floor liners. They're laser measured to perfectly protect your vehicle, front, back, even up the sides. Simply go to WeatherTech.com and order your ultimate vehicle protection today. Or call 1-800-CarMats. This winter calls for WeatherTech.
So you're saying you're gonna give me my credit score for free, right? And then you're gonna ask me for my credit card so you can charge me on the down low. 2 weeks later, look. Credit Karma.
Oh, are you talking to websites again?
It's saying free credit score.
Credit Karma? Yeah, it's actually free. Look, you don't have to put in your credit card information. Credit Karma.
The getaway vehicle.
For all the confidence you need. TD Ameritrade. You got this.
It's frustrating being stuck in the house. Good thing Xfinity's got 2-hour appointment windows. They even guarantee they'll be on time, or I get a $20 credit. It's perfect for me. Because I got things to do.
With a guaranteed 2-hour appointment window and a 97% on-time rate, Xfinity is perfect for people with a busy life.
Now is a good time to start thinking about how you want things to be.
go long.
So we've got like 60 years of experience here. And that's just Sam.
Jim Cantori, now on AMHQ. Weekday mornings at 7.
Well, check this out. A dramatic difference that you've seen in Boston. This image shows you what it looked like on February 15th. A NASA image of the East Coast. You can see those perfect cloud streets there off the eastern seaboard with that cold air rushing in. Just the hints of the next storm system back towards the Great Lakes. And what a difference a day made. A zoomed in version, and now you're not seeing ground. All that kind of white color, that is new snow cover blanketing the area, blanketing Boston, blanketing much of upstate New York. You can clearly see the Finger Lakes there right above the Weather Center Live logo. So yes, this has been the theme, right? Snow after snow, storm after storm, and it's time for your complete winter weather update because we've got more to go.
Oh yes, I'm Vivian Brown along with Mark Elliott, and we're in the weather lab with storm specialist Mike Bettis to give us the very latest again on more snow, perhaps over the Northeast. I mean, we have it down south even today.
It's coming. We've had issues already this evening. We see some bad traffic issues for us in Indianapolis. Concerned about Pittsburgh. They've had some heavy snow bursts, and so I think the evening commutes are going to be real tough in a lot of places for us this evening. And then this whole thing is going to really get its act together as we go farther north and east. Notice here also Atlanta, especially north side of town, we get some flurries out there. I don't think it's going to be snow jam 2015 in Atlanta. It's just a dusting.
Yeah,
that's it. But nonetheless, we don't see it every day, so it's interesting to see. We've got some snow here in the southern Appalachians. Charleston will have the snow as well. But things will really start to get together for us here. I think in eastern Kentucky is a spot to watch, and then central PA will have the snow. It's already rolling its way out of western PA, so a lot of concern for us on some of the highways here.
That band that came through Pittsburgh, I mean, some of the models timing it out to be right over D.C. and Baltimore just in time for that drive home. So there could be some problems with that.
Indeed. So you look at what's going on in the Northeast right now, especially that I-95 corridor. We're in really good shape for now, but as bad as the evening commute is, say, in a place like Pittsburgh, how bad will it be in D.C. tomorrow? How bad will it be in Philadelphia? Watch that energy. You were talking about those cloud streets. You can almost see that, the banding here on the radar, the future radar. So everything's just lining up beautifully. The winds are so aligned here. D.C. This evening, maybe around 8 o'clock or just after the Delmarva gets in on a little bit of snow. We'll forecast this through the morning. I'll show you a couple of interesting things here. We go through, say, the morning hours, and you'll notice that things really begin to wind up for us here in a place like Maine. Down East Maine, probably a big target on its back for huge snow. Maybe the biggest area we get snow because of the northern trough. What's interesting, strong east winds come in, strong northwest winds come in, they converge, and right where they converge, you get this really strong vertical velocity, so the wind then goes upwards, and then it's cold air, and it just spins out snow, 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 snow. And so it's really Boston north of there. Thursday is a day we get maybe a foot, maybe a foot and a half of snow.
Yeah, but we did see a couple of bursts in the Boston area as well.
I think they're going to get a couple inches. I would not be surprised. We're sitting at, what, 96 inches for snow right now in Boston. I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if we go over 100 inches in the next 24 hours, which is crazy to think almost all of it's fallen in February.
Notoriously difficult to really pinpoint where that northern trough is going to set up, though. So someone in there could see 8 to 12, even more right at that coast, but who is the question?
Exactly. I mean, just a little wavering makes all the difference in the world. It looks like a really heavy band sets up just outside of Portland for maybe a foot and a half of snow, but I think Portland, we get 20 inches on the ground right now. I don't see any reason we don't get a foot of snow in Portland, and then maybe 3 to 5 in Boston, which could put us over 100.
And we didn't have the rating for that darker purple, but that is 12 to 18 inches, right?
It's going to be snowing to beat the band tomorrow in Maine, no question about that. And we talked about the insult to injury, the cold, bitterly cold air that's filtered in for really the eastern half of the country for sure. But that high pressure, as it eventually moves out, low pressure moves in behind that, sets us up for our next storm. We're really tapping into the Gulf moisture now, and it's really across the Mid-South and the Ohio Valley where the next storm sets up and then eventually rolls into the Northeast. But a huge mess begins for us Friday here. A place like Little Rock or Memphis, we've gone through it already this week. We're going to go through it twice in 1 week. But eventually the rain does win out with snow farther north, and I think Boston may escape with more rain than snow this next go-round.
Okay, 2 systems over the next several days.
Too much. Thanks, Mike. And you know what? A warm-up, at least. There's that. So thanks for everyone joining us this afternoon. Weather Center Live is going to roll right on, though.
All right, stay tuned. Alex Wilson and Dave Swartz coming up next. Keep it tuned to the Weather Channel.
A wind chill advisory is in effect. Currently in our area, 68 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, sunny, high 68. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear, near record low temperatures, low 43. Thursday, sunny skies, high 60. Here's our 7-day outlook.
The cold outbreak of the year, of the week. Here comes another one. These are the temperatures you'll be waking up to east of the Mississippi River tomorrow morning. Below zero, all the way down to Tennessee. 20s into Florida.
And that's up to 40 degrees colder than we should be. And it's getting even worse here Friday morning. Everywhere you see a black dot is a city that could set a record low temperature. That's more than 100 cities. Welcome to Weather Center Live. I'm Kim Cunningham, in for Alex Wilson.
And I'm Dave Schwartz. It's relentless.
It is.
It is relentless. We warm up to below average, and then a cold front blows through.
Right.
We never even get back to average.
So now we're doubly below average.
Right. Now we're tracking 2 more winter storms to go along with this cold air right through the weekend. The first one could be named at any time, mainly impacting northern New England.
And the second one could be much more serious with more ice and snow for some of the places that just got hit. We're talking about from Oklahoma to New England, including Nashville. Now, there is snow and gusty winds along the Arctic front. We have seen that today, and you can see and hear it in this video from Middle Tennessee today. 117 million people, by the way, 117 million are under some type of cold temperature alert. And Dave, show us what we can expect.
Oh my gosh, Kim, it's just more of the same. It is record-breaking cold this week. You know, this is like deja vu all over again. We could have just recorded this segment like 3 weeks ago, and it would have been good. We are just stuck in this pattern. The ridge in the west, the trough in the eastern half of the country, so more bitter cold. You know, one day it warms up to the 20s and the sun's out and you say, oh my God, finally. Boom. Here comes the next batch of cold air, all the way down into Florida this time. We have got a, what do we have? A wind chill advisory for Tampa and Orlando. Amazing. Tomorrow morning, these are where the records are going to be, from the Delmarva all the way back into Arkansas. 6 below Louisville, 18 below in Cincinnati, where you've been breaking records for cold and snow every day this week. 13 in Athens. 13 degrees in Athens tomorrow morning, the hot spot in the Mid-South and the Mid-Atlantic states. 23 in Mobile, 15 in Little Rock with more freezing rain on the way. It's just boom, 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 Mother Nature, then an uppercut. Ah! Freeze warnings all the way down to Orlando, Jacksonville. Knoxville, Tennessee, we are forecasting a record low. 16 degrees below the old record set 130 years ago. We're forecasting a breaking 16 below the record that has stood for over a century. That is amazing. Jacksonville Friday morning, record. Tampa, record. West Palm Beach, record. Miami, 39. This is our first real cold spell for our friends all the way into southern Florida. Whew. Now let's take a look outside. This is what it looks like when this latest Arctic front blows through town. Pittsburgh, the snow continues to come down. We had some heavy snow here earlier, about an hour or two ago? So we have a nice blanket of maybe another inch on top of the 2 inches that we started with here this morning. When that Arctic front goes through, man, the snow comes down so hard you think, oh my gosh, we're in Boston. It's not true. You see this? That's the Arctic boundary right now, east of Pittsburgh, headed for Johnstown. Eventually it's going to make it into Harrisburg and Philadelphia, but with well, just some snow showers. That would be it for this evening. There it comes across Washington, D.C. here just about rush hour this afternoon. And then all this energy kind of curls up, and it's going to be a big storm for northern New England tomorrow as the cold air continues to blow by. There you have it, my friend. Arctic front snow, Adirondacks all the way back into Maine. That'll be the hot spot or cold spot for anywhere from 3 to 12 inches. Then the big storm is on the way. Here's Kim with that story.
And Dave, this one's a little different. This one actually will have warm air with it, and some of you will actually see it change over to rainfall. And that includes maybe some of you in the Northeast. We'll talk about that, but let's set the stage here across the South, looking at our visible satellite first of all. And you can actually see where the snow is still on the ground in Missouri, parts of Arkansas, Tennessee. It's all the white that's not moving. What you're seeing here are actually stratus and stratocumulus clouds with the Arctic front, and behind the front, Dave pointed out where the front was up here in Pennsylvania, but you can actually tell where we get a little bit more puffier clouds, more cumulus, like stratocumulus clouds out ahead of the Arctic front, behind it more stratified, and that's when the really cold air is coming in. So we've got cold air coming in, we've still got snow on the ground, and if you were on Little Rock, you're going to have some crazy weather. We think this cold is crazy. I'll tell you what, in Little Rock, we're going to have a very dynamic system coming through us to where we're going to start out with ice.